Ukambani folklore dictates that some places are not meant to be mapped. Rise above the plains of Makueni County, and you encounter the towering spine of the Nzaui Hills. To the casual eye, it is a landscape of ancient rock and dense pine. But beneath the surface lies an entirely different reality. For generations, local elders have spoken of the hidden vaults, stories of immense wealth, ancient artifacts, and people who ventured into the hillside caves, never to return. The general consensus was simple: the hills guard their own secrets. But in the summer of 2014, a group of 5 young explorers decided to ignore the warnings. They sought the deepest cave system on the eastern ridge. They expected old stones and dust. What they triggered was a security protocol. 4 of them made it out, 1 did not. And the story the survivors told the local authorities didn't sound like folklore. It sounded like highly advanced warfare. To understand the terror of that afternoon, one must understand the hidden treasure folklore of Makueni. Long before colonial borders were drawn, the Akamba nation held a deep understanding of the earth's riches. But local legend speaks of something far older than tribal history. The elders tell of an ancient pre-human civilization that stored invaluable relics deep within the structural fault lines of the Nzaui rock. These were not gold coins or simple jewels. The folklore speaks of items that could see through walls and weapons that struck with pure light. To protect these vaults, the old ones placed guardians. Most people dismiss this as simple myth, a creative way to keep children from wandering into dangerous, unventilated subterranean tunnels. But the terrain itself validates the danger. The caves are highly irregular. They do not follow standard limestone dissolution patterns. They are jagged, vertical chutes, cut directly into solid, unyielding granite rafts. Entering them requires specialized gear and absolute silence. According to the survivor statements, they had descended over 40 meters into the eastern ridge fissure. The air was thin, smelling faintly of old copper and ozone. They reached a chamber where the walls smoothed out. The natural granite looked almost polished, machine cut. That is when the lead hiker stepped forward. There was no physical tripwire, no falling boulders. Instead, the group described a sudden flash of pale blue light that swept horizontally across the chamber walls, a geometric scan pattern. Instantly, the ambient temperature in the cave dropped. The survivors stated that sections of the stone walls began to recede, revealing metallic mechanisms that had been sealed for centuries. This wasn't a primitive trap. It was an automated defense system activating. A high-pitched, oscillating acoustic hum began to fill the chamber, a sound so intense it caused their ears to bleed. Panic took over. They turned and ran back toward the steep ascent path, but the vault had already deployed its secondary countermeasure. As they scrambled up the narrow rock chimneys, the acoustic hum behind them transformed into a heavy, rhythmic rushing of air, like massive bellows pumping in the dark. Then came the shadow. Out of the deepest recesses of the ceiling, an immense avian predator dropped into the shaft. The survivors described it as an elite member of the eagle family, but of an impossible scale, a wingspan measuring nearly 2 meters wide, completely unsuited for narrow cave flight. Yet it moved with terrifying precision through the dark gaps. Its feathers were a dull, matte black, absorbing their flashlight beams entirely. It didn't attack to eat. It hunted to expel. The massive bird tore through the darkness behind them, its wings generating a localized wind tunnel that pushed the frantic hikers toward the sunlight. It was a calculated relocation protocol. They broke through the narrow cave mouth, tumbling onto the jagged exterior rocks of the slope, gasping for fresh air. The giant bird did not follow them into the bright afternoon sky. It stopped exactly at the threshold of the shadow line, let out one final, echoing shriek, and vanished back into the subterranean blackness. The four men sat on the hillside, bleeding, terrified, counting heads. That is when the reality hit. There were only four. The fifth member of their group, the man who had been bringing up the rear, the one closest to the inner chamber when the scan sequence initiated, was gone. No screams had been heard, no struggle. He had simply been erased from the timeline of their escape. A search and rescue operation was conducted by local volunteers and rangers. They explored the entrance of the fissure, but found no sign of the missing man. No clothing shreds, no dropped flashlights. The deeper chambers, however, remained inaccessible. The rangers noted that a recent, localized tremor had caused a massive granite slab to shift, completely sealing the inner path with thousands of tons of immovable rock. The vault had closed itself back up. Was it a primitive myth, embellished by trauma? Or did five modern youths inadvertently stumble upon a forgotten high-tech relic of an era before our history began? The survivors refused to return to the Makueni Highlands. For them, the hills are no longer a scenic landscape. They are a tomb. Some treasures carry a price that cannot be calculated in currency. As always, the truth is in the archives. If you want to venture deeper into the untold mysteries, cold cases, and forgotten histories of East Africa, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications for Chonjo documentaries. Don't get lost in the mist. Until the next file is opened, stay sharp.